My objective would be to Twitter a whole movie. One tweet at a time, make it a real beauty. So much may become printed, put into motion. The entire picture is merely a notion. Give it time to see what happens. Much is in writing, how's that been? Slave on in your usual fashion.
The great push toward artistry with me continues with years, knowing there may not be time to finish it all as I grow weary and can't keep going. Being an artist is a horrendous farce. Writing and originality in work are the worst part. Rhyming is easy with double meaning parts.
What it means to me is some fascist son. I become like that as work can't be done. In no way am I deadly serious. This is not for a living. It is only for fun. Getting stagnant and bored is all too seriously delirious. What to do with time and energy is frighteningly mysterious.
Coming at you in colors of heart eternally falling toward a cryptic start. Looks to be ascending, never ending. Hard to tell the segments apart. Seems to say love as symbols do. Wouldn't he know why it is or to who? Is it losing or gaining altitude? Long, unending the chase pursued.
Pulsating and seemingly alive, is it eating, breathing, or maybe it's an eye? Can it be multicellular? Not a membrane, but what cells become, why? Peering through microscopes for many hours, taking notes on paper. Evidently, it's a surface we see one layer. Who's the formula maker?
It's a green dream we re-seeing. Look over there. Where it came from? Switches on and off. Then it seems to be turning. To what end succumb? Mathematicians invented it, not magicians. Pattern to force spinning. Over again, it had no start, one T-stop. Goes around never ending.
Repetition and circular motion, swirling colors on a dark background. It is in outer space. How does that sound? A crazy artist getting down. That's good, its expression. Stops us going crazy from depression. Colliding colorful patterns to keep you entertained, out of regression.
This isn't a brain, it's a membrane because it exists on a flat plane. The stem and cerebellum extending into a cortex not the same. Project whatever you want, it is only in the mind where we connect dots. Apophenia, think you see something, associating patterns or plots.
Now you see him. A paranoid schizophrenic lurking in all of us. Still, the mind is connecting dots. Is it a lion attacking or oncoming bus? Everyone is out to get me, oh God, I'm going to die. Existential anxiety. Oh daddy, I'm afraid. Your rational reason why depends on a society.
Idle threat, one thing. Making plans to carry it out another. One is disturbing, the other illegal. Or family too, brother and mother. Carry on, soldier, into dissension. Blow your mind in another dimension. Suicide, that is your mission? Don't plan taking me with you, I'll mention.
It's a pyramid surrounded by rings. Don't turn it upside down, obviously. When Pharaoh designed it, he did not see Earth's axis consciously. They worshipped the sun. It moves above us. Does the ground then turn? You'd be scorned then, what we've learned. Flat beer's what you'd earn.
Seems some kind of blasting three-dimensional sound, loud as hell. Pulsating square surrounding sides. Imagine an immense ringing bell? Get a sensation it is moving away or coming closer's what I'm viewing. There's no point in this renewing. Attempting attraction's what I'm doing.
It is a computer program. You use a little compressor to impress her. As a peacock fans its feathers. Set your screen over on the dresser. If you want movie versions, it's harder, shuffling, sifting, converting files. It's ways of making pictures, not only one. Film extending miles.
Motion and sound give extra dimension. Movies then hold attention. As a hobby you might try making something like a sculptor's invention. It is something to look and listen to, so what you view makes statements. Audiences are not always necessary. Survival tests to attainments.
Running into infinity without regression's fine. You have no memory. There are many things I'd just as soon forget and deserve no reverie. Love affairs gone wrong. That last verse to an unending sung reserve. Our partners turn out to be a waste of time and more than they deserve.
True soulmates are hard to find. Most fade with time, few ever last. One that lasts a lifetime is our own ego. Know your own self, just that. Most of us don't and can't trust our own memory. So we have partners. A person who remembers what we forgot or bore children for starters.
Coiled about spells, cast one then dwell on what it repeats. Go wander about. It's all around you, interpretation of life in the streets. Go with meaning and parable. To what parts of life is it comparable? Liquid and flowing, ending where it begins. All of life is interoperable.
Life's about fun and sacrifices. Much in exchange of one for the other. To achieve enjoyment there is misery by which we compare or suffer. Sensation and emotion exist only relative to one another. Love and hate. Would that life consisted only of love, you wouldn't stop to equate.
Established direction of rotation set in motion in deep outer space. What's set in motion stays that way. Mass makes a gravitational brace. The Milky Way galaxy is darn big. You'd like it to spin another way? Not so likely. Only 100,000 years by light to cross, a survey.
Centauri A and B, our closest stellar neighbors. Companion, a red dwarf. Proxima, third star, has a planet in its habitable zone, B, Earth morph. 4 light years away. Travel 100,000 miles per hour. You'll be there in 25 million years. Go faster, more power.
It's what happens when you let a drip lead the way. Do not know where. Going someplace though the destination is not clear. Then it's a prayer. Not knowing God or his ultimate intention, what could its reason be? Also there's no determining, to begin with, your maker's he or she.
Impressive over and over again, the thing seems made out of rocks. Not that I'm trying to impress anyone. It is my fight with time and clocks. In all the universe there seems nothing but that, interchangeable energy. Forming matter, waiting through time then returning perpetually.
Is heaven virtual or have coordinates? It exists counter to hell? Objectively no proof one or the other, in states of mind as well. Back to faith, in things spiritual or in science and its method. Modality too, is any of it really true? Consciousness, reality's where it's headed.
What's beneath the reflection? Not absolutely certain. The mirror makers? Yes, they might know, having constructed them. We're all fine fakers. Getting people to think of us as something we are not. Tricks for money. Car salesman to actor. Anything for big diamonds. Down on one knee.
Amazing plasma exists between matter and energy. Fill the universe. What's left beside visible stuff? Force fields make me too nervous. A boson, hard to detect, carrying magnetism, electricity and gravity. Most of the void seems an immense cavity. But it isn't empty. It's reality.
What's here through which we see and hear that isn't obviously clear? Described as air, mostly nitrogen 8 in 10 parts and oxygen, near. So it ain't nothing then but more like a medium in which something X. Hiding in plain sight, of course. And there's wind. Those are facts.
There exists such beauty in nature that one asks, what's it for? Were trees to fall and nothing was heard? Does it make sounds more? Why the fancy paint job no one's going to look at? Who likes painting? Sounds like a way with time that could have been put to better purpose, waiting.
Rotation, Repetition, pattern. What does it say? Anything at all? Stood in a doorway looking out a window. Turned to see it in a hall? Slightly frightening, still has very jagged, pointy sharp edges. Not coming or going, only spinning. Be dead or alive, simple patterns it alleges.
Greek folklore. Phoenix arises from ashes. Myself being cremated? I don't think it works that way. No, it's DNA. It could have waited till I was dead anyway. I'm an organ donor, at least, have a heart. They may need my eyes or some intestines. I'll charge money, their body parts.
Have a heart. See, it goes around. None to spare. Way I am treated. A karma wheel and it's shrunken. Make it big, do not be defeated. Give more, all the time and all that you can. It will return to you as favor. If you are not colorblind as a flavor or D depending on behavior.
Seems nothing but trouble with my film. The budget I'm on is small. Savor caviar and can't afford jelly. Champagne taste, beer budget, I recall. Give up drinking? That's almost uncivilized. Up for a mammoth hunt? Team effort, what's movie making for? Convey message, identify want.
Counterfeit, cheap, thief, embezzlement and embarrassment. I feel short. Too late to make up. Stop war before it begins. Lessen bloodshed sport. Let's be gentlemen. 10 paces turn and fire. How we settled arguments. Modern times are frighteningly safer. We have peace treaty documents.
Single-cell organism or time tunnel. It pulsates and isn't colored. In water or kind of liquid, I bet. Circles inside circles dullard. Anything you want it to be, living or only an illusion. At least it's moving. By definition, movie. Plankton, there's enough, my memory's improving.
A love thing. Yes, it is. Above other things, colorful and sings. Don't be dropping in on a floor pictures of ones you knew as flings. Oh, it's a picture in color, so have some respect. As admiration it brings. Not family, friends or pets. I'm placing no bets. To memory one clings.
Can't make it out. Ain't about patriotism, who runs the show, no. Ultimately we serve dictators, literally though. To whose line do you go? Got the idea from someone. Rarely do we come up with things original. Most of what our minds do is connect thoughts. Escape anything collisional.
Flower children and our hippie culture. Late 60s in the United States. The Beatles and Rolling Stones were knocking it out. To me it relates. There was also war and the army. Vietnam, I lost family and friends. Taking good with bad, it became a culture that to my mind bends.
Pulsating round kind of crystal shape, I'd suppose, angular shadows. Freak on its motion, of course. Doesn't stand out if it's still one of ours. Playing mind games forever. Earth stops when you're dead, never? She keeps right on spinning, our dear mother, perpetual in her endeavor.
Seems to be a digression. That is to say, a center seems countered. Ovular, a circular middle into which patterns descend downward. It is, in fact, optical illusion because it is completely flat, spatial at that. Entertaining in a way. A rhyme to fit Twitter for some internet rat.
Unending burlesque. Can't make it out. Black and red fractals of sorts. Looks like legs or hands. This when artists reach their last resorts. Better than canvas. It at least has motion. Meaning what you see. Repetition on a similar theme or formula, they were endless. We are free.
Undulating membranes in black and white. Looks living like a cell. Outside or in, some sort of moving tissue. It stretches, returns well. Couldn't be a weather pattern, more like a thing under a microscope. What causes it to move like that? Who cares? Turn it to cash, give up hope.
Jesus talked to John, right on the tip of my tongue, terrible parable. Could it possibly be? Was it self-defense then? He or I am that able. Don't put words in the mouth, one professing to speak as the Almighty. That is blasphemy and was punishable by death. JC, that may well be.
Seems stuck between membranes as it travels toward a distant object. It has a point which appears dead center of its rectangle, no regret. Displays a certain beauty if you are not colorblind or have no sight. Eyes came about the time of the trilobite, transparent silicon, right?
More patterns and an angular crystalline structure rotating on an axis. What one projects into this is in an individual's imagination, ask us. Going on in colors makes it more interesting than a monotone theme. After awakening, yawning and a couple cups of coffee, it seems a dream.
Colonization of colors twisted to appear dimensional, framed as art. It catches the eye because of motion with a rhyme remembered by heart. There are people who memorize a chapter of the good book verbatim. I couldn't do it to save my life. Remember all the Psalms as an ultimatum.
I never meant to cause you any sorrow. I never meant to cause you any pain. I only wanted to one time to see you laughing. I only wanted to see you laughing in the purple rain. Prince Rogers Nelson, a great hit. Sometime I'd have liked to, but all round he was a character who fit.
Down a drain fit to tie scale. 7 notes less 2 leaves 5. From A to G, leaving out half steps gives you blues progressions. Live. Let us do it and not regress. Though in actuality, you must repeat at least. Get a harp and simply breath in and out. We're jammin' in the street.
Must impress on people an importance of life over and emphatically. Repeated, emphasis reminds you. Not living, there is no dramatically. A lump of clay makes a statement, but without a molder it doesn't say much. Someone needs to spin the potter's wheel to give it artistic touch.
Plants move faster than insects? A natural booby trap, so to speak. Venus flytrap. How long does it take natural selection to invent a week? Mind-staggering continental drift and differentiations of animal species. One time we were all fish? Vertebrates went separate ways, says she.
Curvature of space-time or acceleration of matter in elliptical orbits. A method used to catapult spaceships out of the solar system in bits. By going close to black holes, robots could gain speed toward light. Any portion thereof is phenomenal compared to chemical rockets, alright.
5/6 this interesting form of play. Fraction we pray every day. In inches, minutes, hours, or position on spheres we see away. Know where we are, count or weigh. Fractions are ratios important to us. Find it difficult to count or walk, let alone go to stores, get on a bus.
Quadraphonic, hexagonal or triangular-sided figures are fun watching turn. They've reason and purpose, though many are difficult to see or learn. Molecular structures couldn't form and you'd have no car without them. Engineering requires design and equations use a mathematical stem.
Whoever designed the pretzel, we owe homage, thanks and praise. 3 curved ends with 4 holes. Usually made with dough for cafes. A little salt and grab a beer. Am I dreaming of tiny bubbles and lots of foam? No, it is still an equation, the originator to me is yet unknown.
It's a clump. What's it say? Completely bends on the interpreter. Thus forming an outer space in an asteroid belt is a comparator. Perhaps it's subatomic but seems more in control of forces gravitational. Well, it's all in your mind. Literally it is. Or fractal design equational.
No, you do get this. It's psychotherapy if you can guess at it at all. How does it move, you say? It doesn't. You just got the jitters, recall. A few more pills? ULL be normal. Close as you get till you re over it. Stop shaking, everything's alright now. The world stopped, admit.
Angular pages rotate about the central axis. ID count 50 pages. Enough writing, more than anyone will read. I should say it in rages. That's a long letter or short story. Not close enough to be called a book. No one's interested. Who'd even look? A theater sign, no more crook.
A lot is shown. Reflection of the moon on a still ocean, unimaginable. Little ripples on large waves. We may swim where water's manageable. What lurks beneath the surface? Dive in to see. It's only moon and sea. Monsters of sorts and sizes in these waters. We above, they below be.
It's a meteor for sure. Kicking up dust and busting through cloud. Supposing it made noise and it were planet Earth, it'd be very loud. Isn't he like our planet? Maybe it's someplace else in the visible universe. The big yellow glob, what's with that? Hanging there suspended, a verse.
Weather pattern, ocean currents or plasma? Is it one or all above? Answers may be all of them. The mathematician's formula for love? Being said, your dream is paid for. It usually would be $1 more. Like infinity plus 1. There is never enough. You won't find God at a store.
Give you a hand? It's hard to understand. Dylan Thomas, it impresses? Henry Thoreau, transcendental fear of the unknown is what it expresses. Writers became known by keen, individualistic outlooks in their times. Paranoia, what does it see? Followed by acute recognition of rhymes.
This affects lensing. Zooming indefinitely. Thought it's moving out. Could be either way depending sides of the frame we are about. This gets confusing. Are you looking at it or is it looking at you? Think. Give it a moment about as fast as you blink. Your mind's on the brink.
Most fractal fish in the ocean are the sharks, which are invertebrates. Not much backbone, lots of teeth. Serrated design, one of their traits. Most of us would rather not tangle with them, in large sizes or numbers. Evolution has honed them into the Earth's most lethal hunters.
Never ending, continually spinning, wheel inside a wheel, clockwise. An illusion is its counter-moving effect. No, that's not backward, guys. So tell it to your eyes. Like a cog in some new automatic transmission. Plasma screens are so many pixels up and down, no depth dimension.
4x3 turns something we see. Don't ask, down to you or me. It is not my nature, self-sacrifice, unless for others to become free. One lie for many may make sense when they benefit me and mine. There's always a line that cannot be defined. Us or them, a line ain't fine.
Soulless, autonomous robots now perform repetitive tasks for mankind. As yet they can compose what I'm writing, which is why I enjoy it, I find. Can a machine write a novel? Not yet, but it enhances my composition. Grammar checks assist, but they do not convey meaning or intuition.
Hoping to see it, might say it found him. The light, it's illuminating. That is great, better than becoming lost in the dark, hallucinating. Go on, probably do you some good. Do some magic mushrooms. I don't think it's what this guy was on. It is an alien abduction, one presumes.
Dead pass one another, not recognizing a soul. They were one. Gone it is elsewhere. The things we did in life, all for fun. If life is for sacrifice, then leave it to saints. I do not profess to be that holy. Religion, continuation of spiritualism. Like evolution, it evolves slowly.
Write about freedom, a medium that brings joy. Express what you wish. In regard to the world and humankind, that we be generous, not selfish. Seems we are the only species that actively pursues art in pure form. All else is simply a struggle for survival, sustenance, and to be born.
Being intellectual is difficult when no one wants to be on that level. If life amounts simply to a struggle for survival, it becomes primeval. Just do not expect the luxuries of any kind of modern living comfort. All your energy spent in survival. Existence above it comes first.
Do what you do best. Do not spend your energy on things meaningless. Ashes to ashes, dust to dirt, we are composed of stardust, being thus. Efforts on the scale of solar systems seem so small and insignificant. To accomplish anything on the scale or size of a star is magnificent.
Old as gold, the stories told. Take 10 years of your life, what's it mean? To some quite a bit, others little. 1 decade, devoted to a machine. Be a necessity, I'd rather it served people, know what I'm saying? Depends on a job itself, need for what's produced and what it's paying.
Red, white and blue, hooray for America. I often revere my spiritualism. Maybe I choose to ignore it. Select where to pray or be spiritual in. Don't get too far gone at heavy metal concerts, you'll go deaf. The leader of that band likes being heard. Its noise don't lead to death.
Continuing into the unknown. Freeform writing's what I prefer, poetry. Sure hope you don't make a living that way. Will not get far in a hurry. Music is the same way. Melody and rhythm incorporate them in song. The 3/2 intervals make blues. 5 notes instead of 7 long.
A powerful magnetic containment chamber to hold heated plasma. The secret of nuclear fusion, our next step to free energy, it secret's getting more power out than you put into one of these. But in the long run they would be a lot safer. No radiation from the fission energy.
Somehow I see the Buddha behind this. His end road to enlightenment. Convict one should follow the ways he taught them in endearment. Patient meditation, prayer. You're not getting anywhere throwing rocks. Perseverance and patience, that's what is taught. Of contentment it talks.
God only knows what is life at extremes. A kind of shape in dreams. So this is in superheated thermal vents. Don't guess what it means. Not everything looking alive is. Not as humans would define it. But I feel certain it exists outside of Earth. We've yet to find or see it fit.
Kaleidoscope colors display motion like a brain interprets emotion. Lots of inputs coming at you that your mind sorts through as a notion. Deciding courses of action to take requires reflex or some fast thinking. You need to lower your blood pressure then by doing some drinking.
My inner flower child at work. Hippies like myself do not need acid. The last trip I took in '68 was so high I am still placid. They do not make it like that anymore. Me and girlfriends in high school. Those were the days. Free love, everyone got along and life was cool.
Sun rises and sets. This world keeps on spinning. Nothing stops it. Our sun will devour it in a few billion years. Hopefully we will split. It's what happens to stars like ours when they run out of fuel to fuse. They continue the fusion process with heavier elements they can use.
Rationality and reason are required carrying intelligent conversation. If what you're discussing contains none of these, we are of no relation. Just pull out a gun, point it at me and hope I don't shoot first. Best be a good shot. I'll stand off at a distance. What could be worse?
Love or hate, life and death, everything in between contains the rest. Don't touch me. You don't get out much, do you? Like hermits at best. It does spread germs and you can't be too careful. Stand at a store. Teamwork of any kind requires some push and shove. We cannot do more.
A kind of mind more complex than mine uses abstraction indefinitely. That's all you had to do with your life? You're right to do it delicately. Colors paint let you see more than what's there, things that ain't. It's imagination and a complex machine. Running out is my complaint.
The constituents of a nucleus are quarks. Protons 2 up, 1 down. Neutrons 2 down and 1 up. Now strong atomic forces surround. They're extremely difficult to break apart. Supernova explosions are no doubt. Giant stars fuse hydrogen into heavy elements. Ending cast them out.
Stellar nebula are something to be seen. Only supernovas are extreme. Hard to imagine how much mass is ejected in the event, but only dream. Enough to create new solar systems like ours many times over again. Our solar system began in the Milky Way. Black hole in the middle then.
Would anyone want to listen to your garbled crap in the future? It's the only way it would have value, as history on a new computer. As an event of the past. So would any writing or photo, that is a mystery. Man always strives to preserve memory, in writing or hieroglyph history.
Like songbirds we sing to be heard. With meaning interpreting a word. Of course it isn't going to rhyme in any language. Meaning is inferred. Thoughts that make some sense writing in what short paragraphs say. If its history conveys meaning when written, your history that way.
One of the most amazing discoveries in the realm of mathematics. Simple equations create infinitely complex Mandelbrot set phonetics. Nature too seems ingrained with this molecularly forming patterns plenty. We can also find the same iconic shape in the patterns created by many.
Oh, the artistic dildo we all know too well. He's asleep or resting. It awakens us with a colorful fuss. There's no substance it's testing. They're only meaningless expressions on an electronic circuit board. I've often wondered why man invented these things just for us to record.
Crystalline surface, what lies beneath? Much like what appears to be. Under a facade of superficial reality is that realm you refuse to see. Ugly, sometimes full of jagged edges, dangerous drops we're not aware. A bottom on which glitter we see glides, full of greedy wants our snares.
Unending undulation passes through populations of people on Earth. Public media rides and thrives on it. We all want to know what's worth. Believe me that the media is propaganda fueled by sponsors' livings. Give us what we want or you don't get fed is what's said, my misgivings.
Eternal spin to oblivions where we're headed. Recall a singularity. Where we arose it goes. Monster of infinite density similarity. Lurk to pull us in. It can also help or be a friend. Huge energy source. We learn to deal with its force. Bend and near but not too close of course.
What forms in imagination is evaluation of inputs, stimulus response. Here we go. Psychoanalysis over again. Before the Renaissance. Between now and then anyway. After Dark Ages when fear was a plague. Still it spreads like wildfire, fright and vanity. Rationality rare and vague.
Isaac Newton nailed it down in his time. On our moon's speculation. His mathematics gives areas for orbital ellipses of a planet's rotation. Calculus is lovely, its method I've not understood, elliptical segments. He predicted orbits of planets in our solar system by assessments.
It's all in our minds, the universe, consciousness and other people's. Horse races, sprint cars, motorcycles and runners jumping steeples. Cliché of trees fall in a forest and no one hears, does it make sound? It would seem there's still an air disturbance. Earth's flat not round.
Simply a period of time in which we're stuck. Now and then out of touch. Feeling reaching out we could not be alone. Someone cares that much. A finger finally feels its matching. Sensing something we've four of. Taste, smell, hear and what's another one? Can a fifth one be above?
Dust swirls in space, clumps together comes to rest. It's gravitation. Enough of it forms a nebula. Clouds reach light years across creation. Not from a Big Bang but supernova events. Thickening layers condense. What's other side of black holes, one wonders. Milky Ways make sense.
Cloud of thought or a weather phenomenon looks like purple rain. Another song, come along, let's drop acid and brains regain. We don't need another. Stuff's bad for you. It'll mess with your mind. You don't want that, then still be able to write. Less your Edgar Allan Poe, fine.
There should be some way to send it back to the time of televisions. People found things called antennas in old advertisements editions. First boob tube was available 1930 after the Roaring Twenties. They'd wonder what it was in black and white with Coca-Cola empties.
Scribble onto, fascinating. Resemble anything, art is better than mine. I can't draw well. Let alone keep a plot and stories, spell and wine. Take one line, only keep it going. If it looks like something good, call it art and hang it on a wall. Anyone who looks at it is understood.
Like a continuous conveyor, the whacked-out fractal goes on forever. Rotation seems to be what this one is about. Very detailed and clever. Anything you want them to be. What the hell, better than watching TV, it's how I pass time. Writing nothing but thinking what'd rhyme to me.
Rubik's Cube, best-selling game in the world, invented by a Hungarian. A professor of architecture spent time on this mind puzzle, whereon. This is better than video games in that it is mechanical. It is a bit like machines, though I hate to serve them, prefer something organical.
Flashes of rounded black on a turquoise background. How's that sound? It stacks up. Seems to be a draftsman's bench where architects abound. Planes or buildings, they're laying plans for some unique, new design. Private industry or the government, colossal and takes an army find.
Linear blue-brown argumentation moving right to left. Ask and trace. Wherever it originated. No destination, a straight pattern place. That is nice. Talk about compulsive activities. Unpremeditated, face it. Simply think, I'll take it. Wrapped and out the door. No thought, admit.
Traces of mechanical design that are mathematically formulated to fit. Nature is much like that. Not pure math, biology is based on chemicals for it. Chemistry and compound atomic structuring seem architectural. In actuality, the electron microscope attests to it being perfectural.
Lacking character, plot, setting or timeline, it's poetry, not a novel. Story of sorts, written short paragraphs. I hopefully rhyme model. Why write it down at all? My intellectual faculty is mediocre at best. Let's say normal, though somehow different. Everyone is not like the rest.
In this day and age with electronics, in cinematography, anything goes. Most of everything imaginable can be incorporated as effects in shows. For robots, monsters and normal, everyday people are enhancements. Crazy as it seems, they are just like dreams with surreal advancements.
Stepper to the unknown. Stepping into space, frozen to the bone. It would have to be virtual, no space suit on. Stick to Earth as home. Walk on, space travelers. Exercise is necessary, even up in outer space. Nice place, but I wouldn't want to live there. Trees are hard to replace.
If you suffer from hallucinations, it may be due to the tender health care. An entire medical industry would go bankrupt were it implemented there. Stay away if you value health. Smoking, that is, can be bad for you. In any form, watch out what you inhale. There are better ways too.
Crank it up, put it in a frame. Call it what you like. It's an art form. It could be changing weather, causing moods to sway. It's a storm. So try to stay the middle of the road both with your car and emotions. Fights we have with partners test long-lasting relation and devotions.
Defragmentation would be my interpretation. Then reassembly again. eye-catching, nothing more. With no distraction, life that's a bore then. Given a spectrum of color, it makes more sense. Wavelengths we sense. The icy's red long and purple short. One further or closer condense.
Then there's a snow globe. Shake the round glass, what did that turn? To remember's tiddlywinks. Hours we spent on a flat floor learn. An old-fashioned kaleidoscope was entertaining, never the same pattern. Most colossal waste of time is solitaire or throwing darts at the tavern.
Keep it green, leave her clean. Hate nothing more, a campsite of trash. People are the worst infestation on this planet, not for Jesus brash. Place would be better without them. Just about everyone but him. Say you are the Son of God. That is boastful. Be cocksure about it then.
Gathering information from a black hole. Seems it is possible, a lot. Memory position for every atom in a body, warehouse, probably not. Explained in scientific notation that's a line of zeros many pages long. May require a memory unit of that sort. Singularity means all is gone.
Bad luck to rats, warning to all rodents. To keep clear of claws. Fangs to fear. Why my pet does not wear a little bell or laws. If I were a mouse I'd stay clear. Of a leopard or a lion I ain't comin' near. I'd be holding something more lethal than his beer. Fight or flight fear.
Welcome to a zone that's unremembered. Falling into races all thought. Standing formation in the army. Wearing stripes for which you fought. May as well throw it all down a black hole as use that for a standard. The proud and the stupid. The government supports us, feels pandered.
13 triangles argue a point. Suspicious what lurks here hiding. Spend all day counting the same illusion again. No one's minding. Eventually you'll give up a ghost. It gets tiresome celebrating holidays. Forget what they're about. As though transitioning through solid phase.
Octagonal is a good design compared to quadrupedal. There are spares. In that respect, no skeletal system. No need for it if a leg or arm tears. 4 appendages blueprint most land animals, not insects like spiders. Bugs got 6 except millipedes. Could use more hands beside hers.
Equal the ticking of a geothermal clock mantle, inner mantle and core. They turn like Earth's surface beneath a thin plate above which is more. Ourselves, the atmosphere and oceans, continents float in slow motion. Protected from the sun's radiation by magnetic fields locomotion.
Refuse anxiety at things not understood. Is everything explainable? Was creation for reason or only an accident? Infinity is unobtainable. There are things you may choose to ignore because it is frightening. Beauty is attractive but not necessarily the truth. Ignore enlightening?
Group of stars modeled in wire configurations. Still a math formula. A set, in motion. Like our entire visible universe, a corner of. Nice yellow color, like our sun. Not all stars are, red giants and white dwarfs. Mind-numbing, when you think of the size of our galaxy and force.
Are you scornful of intellect because it seems to have no purpose? In our time things now make sense. In the past they were only versus. Secrets of nuclear energy to benefit modern society are only beginning. If we could nail down controlled, safe fusion, mankind would be winning.
Rotation, counter-rotation, evaporation, no friction in the event horizon. Finally capped a black hole. It's been done to oil wells. Can man wisen? How could you possibly contain it? Like plasma in magnetic fields? Antimatter's been held enough to observe a bit of what it yields.
It looks like the cylinder of a 6-gun, doesn't it? Mine's automatic. Old 45 cartridges, lots of punch at close range. The Magnum or military infantry weapons are better if you're standing far away. 50 caliber or 30 mm have better distance for aircraft, say.
Inspiration in green. You're tired of being entertained, turn to hobbies. Get a kick being occupied. Boredom is dormant, nothing it embodies. Reading, writing, there is much to do. Of what consequence, for who? Die, turn to dust. Cars turn to rust. Memory lives in people we knew.
Enjoy life while you are alive. There are no guarantees after we die. Heavens are out there, hope to find them. Partly their earth is why. Heaven on earth is an exaggeration. Virtual reality is a possibility. A billion years, a long time. Machines don't have eternal reliability.
Centrifugal force can replace gravity, but it is not the nature of our Earth. The planet has mass. If you live here, you've known it from birth. Like anything falling, force on one body regulates the other. Our earthly bodies do not develop the same in weightlessness, it's tougher.
Reaching across the cosmos, there are huge problems to overcome. Robotically is lots more feasible than physically in human form for one. It may be easier to program a planet with information collecting probes. The Martian surface is pretty well mapped out. Simulate them as globes.
What is on your mind, for God's sake? Make dinner a couple steaks. Rattlers aren't bad, or chicken? And all we got to eat is lousy snakes? Survival in the great outdoors. It gets old pretty fast but can be done. You'll love camping out. Bring a friend, fishing equipment and a gun.
Say you saw this floating outside the spaceship windows in orbit. Have achieved a sustained position outside the atmosphere to do it. It's a reflection, mirage or flight of your fantasy. Don't ask me. Is it in your mind or outside the ship? Think of it for a bit. What do you see?
Could be a crop circle. It was stolen by aliens from planet Earth. Nothing extraterrestrials won't pilfer. A stop sign, what is it worth? That is right. The three-way stop just before the Space Mall. Pulling into the parking lot next to Neptune. Come to a full halt, don't stall.
Seems like a corona area around the sun, in digital barcode maybe. Energy output of the sun stunning. Stars, fusion reactors, they be. It would take only a tiny portion to power all vehicles on the planet. Car's big to me. Convert it to the fastest machine powered by a magnet.
A pentagon is from the Greek word spendi and gonia, meaning five. Five-sided polygon, the sum of the internal angles formed to contrive. May be simple or self-intersecting. A self-intersecting, regular. The pentagon, or star pentagon, is called a pentagram. And that is not nebular.
Why purple and the songs thereof drive us so far gone royally? Color of the night sky before blackness and a moon arrive joyfully. Get it on, then turn to turquoise. Why? I wouldn't even try. It is an oval that changes prosody and color. I do not know what it's for or may imply.
The mind descending into an endless vortex. Color and formula collects. They're all part of a number set. One of the fascinating paradigm effects. Countless, unending, dropping downward, endlessly falling patterns. It's a new kitchen device for baking to give the wife that turns.
Time converter of sorts for the doctor on those British television shows. It turns into a call box, of course. You can travel anywhere, who knows? Counter-turning oval, green. A part of my vastly complex machine. Based on quantum physics. A helpful tool in creating a new vaccine.
I'm turning this into a new car. Give up working and become a star. With all my talent it should become very easy. Get me my guitar. Stick to the old way, that's boring and slow. Stand outdoors in the rain. Why haven't I been recognized? It don't take talent, I shouldn't complain.
Layers of gas giants undulate about. If you are a spaceship, look out. It'd make the worst storms on Earth seem like calm days all about. Planets like brown dwarfs have not the gravity to fuse elements into stars. Dim but large, they are planets, dragging space-time more than hours.
Curved geometric figure, each part of which is the same statistically. As a whole, fractals are useful in modeling structure mechanistically, such as eroded coastlines or snowflakes where similar patterns recur. At progressively smaller scales they repeat, but the same scenes infer.
Rippling waves in a pond. That stone you threw all but gone. It's impressive, the peaks and troughs floating at the surface as drawn. Pondering the properties of waves, see them as acting through particles. Field of magnetism, electricity or gravity. Waves on water, such articles.
Brings us to empty space or pure vacuum, the interstellar medium. Of what may that be composed? It isn't nothing, like air or water it's in. More likely a WIMP. Weakly interacting massive particle, or a boson. Fields like bonds of water. In high energy collisions they're shown.
At energy levels around 125 million electron volts. The collision of atomic nuclei have produced that kind of particle bolts. You can imagine a sea of massive bits floating around us like water. The large force-carrying medium through which spirit brought her.
Crystallized carbon size of grapefruit, no doubt, big as ostrich eggs. Quite a rock, too big to fit in your sock. No diamonds on earth pegs. Must be about 1,000,000 carats, all polished and ground to perfection. Just a picture. Lots of reflection but a cheap imitation on inspection.
An interesting scene, another stolen blossom, to impress my lovely. Plucked from a computer, stuck in a frame, nothing to do, recovery. If staring at it helps you get better, then keep it up. Zoom to fill a room. Colorful, nothing more, without ornamentation, a room's full of gloom.
A galaxy for taking. Plans are being laid as we speak, hideous. If we don't get it first, nothing is left. Cross the Atlantic, pity us. What it's like to another star system. In our own solar system, listen. Only planet worthwhile, Earth. There's lots of minerals around this sun.
3 volts. To excite a photon of energy from an orbiting electron. Dropping to a lower level, that departed. How it works, effect on. Now think of a subatomic particle the photon interacts with, big boson. 100 million volts is big next to 3. Light speed is not frozen.
Neither is a cosmic speed limit instantaneous. What slows a photon? A relatively huge, force-carrying particle. It has mass, a boson. Electrons and photons labeled massless, traveling at speed of light. Energy is required to accelerate the nucleus. Quite a bit if it's heavy, right?
Mega denotes million, giga a billion. Gauge spins, scalar stationary. Photons and Higgs, force carriers. One very small, other big, very. Small ones got to have little effect on the big one, less there are many. Could small ones cause the big ones to sway as waves in water? Any?
Our friend the photon. They are interacting with the back of our eyes. A fairly low form of energy we detect. In varying intensities, no lies. Get my dark glasses, it is better, I can see. Why do people hound me? I want to live, to feel the sun. As much when night's begun, agree?
The little parts in nuclei are made of fermions, quarks, up and down. Harder to understand a strong nuclear force by which they're bound. Breaking them apart takes a lot of energy. Fusing them together too. Huge gravitational force will do. In a big star when its life's through.
A hexagon, yes? But how many-sided? 4 or 6? By definition it's 6. Here's an illusion. An equilateral convex polygon, somehow they mix. The 4 and the 6 sides match when extended in top of a cube form. So geometry sees, then implies a regular square. I've yet to conform.
My gosh, I hope it's not alive. Repeated formula for a curve implies. Never-ending digressions are what we get as impressions. It never dies. Fill in the blank spaces with the writing to fit them into statements. Come to the exact number, shorten them out or look for replacements.
I see a big tree, looking down, with concentric rings of branches, 3. Green and seems to move. You have to view it as a frame sequence C. The graphic interchange format runs through them like a movie watch. Digital multimedia format streams sound and text overlay top-notch.
Lensing brings it into focus. Are you watching it? Or is it watching us? Actually, you're watching it. Don't get paranoid if my webcam adjusts. You could see me and I could see you. But do you really want it to? Please respect other people's privacy. Background might not be true.
Social media is a hype. Sell and advertise to be commercial. Not everything you do's for money. Why do it at all? Controversial. Right all the time. It isn't alright. Correct, one should say, etiquette at this point. A lot of people are going to throw a fit. Spelling is delicate.
Throw Batman and Robin into this and you've got a movie. Oh crap. Yes, Robin, Catwoman is at it again. Her usual shenanigan. It is a trap. You actually mean to build this as some kind of a movie set, dreaming. Producers won't finance it. With no timeline or plot, they're screaming.
Shazam, an animated feature. Millions of fans are here waiting to see her. No, Catwoman isn't in it either. A universe of brown dwarf stars here. It doesn't try boy blunder get one to sit through it, you wonder. The movie had no plot. It's art, so what? Read captions down under.
This is the blues. Hits you at times when things have become bad. After that it becomes unbearable. Drugs and alcohol, living's too sad. Then it kills you. For the time being we just want to go out, have fun. Scream out on stage if you've talent. Write sultry poetry, you're done.
Anything man can do's feeble. Next to our maker, it is hopeless. Might as well develop the rest of your bad habits. Perhaps smoke less. Any of this blowing your mind? I doubt it. If so, it's the dumb girlfriend. Probably thinks you're cute, those big ideas but no money to spend.
It's been that way your life. Moving on from good time to strife again. Can't all be the best days of our lives? No downs without ups then. When you've hit bottom there's no place else to go. At the top stay there. Savor each moment, everything's inheritable, you could be the heir.
Guess what, you're given the earth. In a sense it's true notwithstanding. Do not be arrested for trespassing, someone else may be commanding. So it's up to you to become their leader both legally and spiritually. It may become accomplished in lots of ways. Make it legal usually.
Change or make laws, but don't be messing with nature naturally. You'll find it a dead-end street, wrong way alley. Gravity takes its tally. So it's a rule you won't change. Militarily is something else so inclined. With the following you'll accomplish privilege till you're confined.
Is it a basic instinct? Members of species to be with their own kind? Yes, for the purpose to interbreed, nurturing, sustenance combined. It's said you can't herd cats. Solitary predators, like that, hunters. Pride or family the priority, even crocodiles have to mate, one wonders.
Start with nests or eggs. Others are always out to steal, mammals too. Egg layers rely on a large number, not live-born kids to see it through. Ovulation grows thousands of eggs, fertilized or not few need survive. Successes of species are in lengthy fossil records that we revive.
To date Homo sapiens, the modern human, has been very short-lived. Fruitful versus insects and reptiles we have a long way to have did. Cockroaches survive intense radiation. They always have places to hide. Through mass extinctions on Earth, they see success again, it is implied.
Asteroid or gamma ray blast, how's it expected humans to last? Darn? Move to space, raise a farm? You'll need a lot of rich soil and a barn. Water, excrement and debris, apples you know. Grow on a big tree, pal. Respect planet Earth and be ready for change. It's going to happen, gal.
Not being negative, there are a lot of hurdles modern man's to overcome. To survive war, plague or mass extinction designs required by some. Overpopulation not an answer. It needs to be sustainable for a future. Innovation that lasts is an answer, not something just a quick suture.
How interactive we are with machines till we're no longer needed. As yet I can't download to a virtual reality. It hasn't succeeded. Probably will, all your memory and thoughts. Then we'll miss our bodies. Writing this I think, why can't a machine do it for me? I love my hobbies.
A virtual universe machine with nearly infinite random access memory? Near the size of a supermassive black hole for all things visible, it has to be a desktop coming out next year. Programmers at work. Wired into the center of our Milky Way. Long way to lay cable, smirk.
What is heaven's coordinate then? Where do we set up our machine? Does not even fit on a table. It's going to take a lot of work, a dream. Got to be somewhere Satan won't get his hands on it, the rotten devil. It'd wind up with his virus in its software. It also has to be special.
We want the good things and none of the bad. It's heaven after all. Our machine is fast. Total Recall. Runs on fusion, lasts forever, small. Destroyed by gamma rays, so has to be placed correctly in a galaxy. Exploring to do. Location in the best neighborhood. All else is fallacy.
Programmed out the pain and put her up on Park Place so it's happy. Floats everywhere, doesn't have to walk, spies on people, so snappy. Knows who's naughty or nice. Who to upload or dump in that black hole. Knowledge worth retaining has relevance. Destruction to any dumped soul.
Is it true, heaven and hell, state of mind which we dwell in, be real? Does it have location, a machine? It's a big cosmos is the deal. Our visible universe is a primal bubble 13.7 billion years. For light to reach a beginning. It's huge, anything exists one hears.
All I have to do is watch whether to be afraid of our Maker Almighty. Hurricanes, tornadoes, a big thunderstorm alone's frightening unlightly. On the ground or flying in a plane you have a fear of death and pain. Respect the forces who are your creator. A singularity I maintain.
Time and money put into science, its methods, where we put alliances. Others simply put that in faith. Research, properly, is trust in sciences. You might bend more to human nature and virtue of kindness then. People are only that, not machines. They will always be, men are men.
Once a poet always a poet, way it goes wanna be Edgar Allan Poe's. What's happening? I give a tinker's clock, worse language than those. Watch television all day, you'll go crazy? Even out in public you're lazy? Finally found your perfect job? My goodness, use virtue to rob, daily.
The art of spreading virtue to a great many and not a few. Who'd it be? Course you all guessed it. He was a carpenter who lived in Galilee. I'd get tired very fast working for the Romans at that time, who ruled. Decline and fall of a vast empire, an epic saga to inspire, not fooled.
Cornucopia of substance around us, indeed anything is possible. Make what, who's responsible? Swords into plowshares, it is unstoppable. We only need technology to convert and rearrange organic structure. Not very simple, one atom at a time, new advancements in the semiconductor.
Invention brings about innovation. And it saves or costs us lives. I've yet to kill anyone by writing, but face it. Genius has its price. Any with my intelligence couldn't possibly do any damage. Fact? All in the interpretation of scripture naturally. It's in Shakespeare each act.
What squares do to perfectly cool spherical stuff? Enough's enough. When your lives slow down to normal speed, it is normal, not tough. Faster life gets, the harder it is to keep up. Try, most of us fall behind. Just keep going, do what you can. It'll all fit together, no one'll mind.
Undulating traffic, these two wreak havoc on any unsuspecting one. Drive like the devil and find you're going around in circles. It is no fun. Give up, nowhere to roam, realizing you're all alone. You and a phone. The darn thing rings, but you've given up on the things, nobody home.
Spin into oblivion. Obviously we are close to the end of space-time. I don't mind. My end is near anyway. A good run, not in my prime. Geez, who started it in the first place, I'd like to ask. It was no easy task. Work and strain would straddle your brain. Think it'll fade to black.
Still a continuous purple media stream running with a coiled wire cord. Unceasing expansion until you cannot figure what happened, get bored. Were it physical and not visual, one would tend to become impressed. When they are but an effect in 2 dimensions, it's expressed at best.
Sure, we're a bubble universe rising in quantum foam from the unknown. This is the big picture of a multiverse. It continues and dissolves alone. Was on a countertop while I did dishes this morning, but you can see. As you open a beer, then look at the top of your glass, it could be.
Fusion's a mind-dazzling process, occurs clearly about us, in space. Originally first stars formed of hydrogen. Now in nebulas we trace gravitational forces which are unbelievable from remnants of first stars. Conceivable how far away those things are. Astronomical next to Mars.
I'm in a creative phase. Sure, it'll never end for me even in a grave. Fortunately I'll be cremated. It should be even more colorful, Stave. Friends will recall me in some I disliked. Still we're in it together. No one beats Grim Reaper. Sooner or later we'll be in world's nether.
Up in smoke, spread my ashes. Buddhist tradition, probably matches. Sorry, it'll end this way. Hey, I'm poor, who can afford gray patches? Earth's getting crowded. Don't think they'll find a cure for dying. Line and 2, and I couldn't guess where to begin. You dig it, stop lying.
Still painting flowers, Vincent? Whatever thrills your fantasy in life. Wouldn't it be nice, give it some motion? More exciting than your wife. Get to a point after many years you've heard everything to be heard. You get old or crazy, tired of working, so become lazy. It's absurd.
In ways our universe is based on triangles such. All stuff, fine dust. Ground down to single atoms and split apart into particles discussed. Nucleonic parts constructed by quarks exactly 3 to plus or neutral. Protons and neutrons free or bound by force or invisible approval.
It all constitutes matter, our ideas, mass and gravity with magnetic force. Threesome in nature, Fermions. Holy Trinity as in religion, of course. Pick science given the choice. Most of us could never do the math. Myself included, so it turns to faith. In the scientific method's path.
Observation, measurement, experiment, formulation, testing and then modification of original hypotheses, sharing your results, friend. If no one can take or save lives with it, a discovery will never fit. Only be sure they're friendly, because some will kill you for it or with it.
That is the crazy way the world is run, and many of us lean on religion. Faith is essential to mankind. Without it we would not have work done. What is the point, to what end may it be when it is down to him or me? Explained in many ways, go back and read your Bible. You will see.
Returning today, what way did life on Earth evolve? Was it created? In ways creationists are right. Almighty forces put us here, we're related. But the processes took 1 billion years, which in biblical terms is a day. Guess our visible universe is 2 weeks old. It's right in a way.
Moses wasn't up on Charles Darwin, but tectonics became sea-moving events, along with a great flood, were real, geodynamics is proving. Mediterranean Ocean held back a lot of water and volcanoes near Italy. Those effects on massive bodies of water and seafloor shown literally.
Microbes have been on the planet a quarter the life of our universe. 3.5 billion years on Earth. Start early in an ocean, a verse. Guess about thermal vents, liquid seas. Amino acids from space sink. Habitable zone around 300 degrees in liquid water, I think.
1 billion years, however, gets really boring. Single cells, not plankton. Carbon-based life, like people, discussing a definition we'd sanction. Oxygen is a byproduct from the photosynthesis of blue-green algae. Without our nice atmosphere, radiation kills anything on land you see.
Couple billion years, an atmosphere is official. Life emerges from water. Protected from fatal ultraviolet rays, a friendly environment brought her. First plants and animals from the sea found safety on dry surfaces. Mutation from radiation and selective adaptation showed purposes.
Late thus far in an evolution of our universe, 250 million years, say. It hauled itself out of the ocean insects, then us as vertebrates, hey. Us fish gotta eat. Plants, insects and each other. You bet, eggs too. Eggs evolved hard shells to reproduce above water as life anew.
Egg, animal and sexes seem to have existed as long as complex life. The process of laying them inside, rather than outside, a body is like mammals, synapsids, in the late Carboniferous alongside sauropsids. Dinosaurs bossed 200 million years until conditions changed, kids.
You guessed it. A big rock hit. Longside new circumstance at once. Sad Mother Earth hit in the head. Big things died, kept her little runs. About all that did not hide underground was gone, never to be found. Let it be a lesson. Not the first time either. Mass extinctions abound.
Less than 1/10 of 1 billion years ago, synapod life shot up the mammal. Big sauropods were gone. Tens of millions of years evolved a camel. 5 to 7 million years ago, great apes developed many species. Eventually one survivor became like us. Modern humans, you see these.
Evolution of Homo sapiens had many branches. I'd take it to be brutal. We never coexisted well together. Design of warfare always a renewal. Keep it cool. With today's weapons, we'd create a mass extinction. Things we implement with knowledge and their use require distinctions.
Nearest stellar neighbor is Alpha Centauri, oddly it is 3 stars. Bit more than 4 light-years away. It'd be crazy driving in cars. Too like our sun and the brown dwarf that is quite dim, with planets. 40 trillion kilometers, at 250,000 km an hour you plan it?
Our fastest space probe? It's 160 million hours. You'll arrive in 20,000 years. Don't fall asleep, cowards. Going there take much more velocity. Acceleration's tricky, even slow. Ion propulsion is efficient, solar sail or slingshot a black hole will go.
Off the accelerating effect of catapulting around a black hole, no? Guess what, can't find one. Lest we haven't seen it, going slow. Face it, you'd need to achieve noticeable fractions of the speed of light. That's not slow, 186,000 miles per second, right?
670 million miles an hour is close to light. 4 years? You're driving too slow. Pick it up to 100 million in 3 years. Space cops, radiation, Interstellar debris. You won't live that long. Half the fuel's gone? Return or opt out? Stay where you belong.
Better image it from here. We're looking 4 years ago. It's not long. Detail planets, atmosphere, determine it with an effort. Not far gone. Generations of telescopes and space win the race to a solar system. There is a lot in ours. A heck of a trip. More right here I'd mention.
There are plenty of minerals all around us. Several too are of great value. They would have to if it warranted a trip to space. Gold dust, water, platinum, lithium, diamond and rubies of course are a resource. Anything out in the solar system we would go get them, of course.
Space is a huge industry and keeps getting bigger year after year. Overwhelmingly most of us would be happier sitting home or near. Eventually, if not already, there will be a gigantic strike that's beneficial. It's gotta turnabout, weapons or medicine. That is not prejudicial.
If it doesn't save life, take life or advertise, face it. There is no point. Simply for a laugh, applause or recognition doesn't get it as voiced. Space is not a joke. Like working on the bottom of the ocean, pals. Dangerous work several fathoms down. Miles deep, I have no morals.
If or not you have a fear of flying at hundreds miles per hour, not lying. Hit a solid object at 25,000, or orbit speed you're drying. Relative to you, any stationary objects coming your way, watch out. Sensing instruments, or super shielding, know what you are about.
The rocket scientists have it figured out? No, it'll be many years. You're not stuffing me in a tin can and firing it off to the moon, man fears. Be a good place for astronomy, just looking at the heavens for men. They did anyway, but what did it prove? Haven't been there since then.
Spiritualistic states of mind sake me. It does give a contentment. Meditative states of being provided or comes void of resentment. I wouldn't condemn it in favor of science or logic entirely. It creates rivalry. Faith in method versus pure faith vary as intellects become fiery.
Many things one takes on faith because they're not explainable, a miracle. Before your eyes. First-hand and not based on hearsay, gossip or satirical. Science might, but not as we know it today, that is to say, modern. May mankind evolve some new dimension, the arrow of time turn?
Slow down, stop there. Time reversal isn't mortals' realm, partners. Speeding up and warping it, just a bit, quite factually is for starters. We're aware titanic masses affect gravity and pulling space-time along. Acceleration, relative motion, have measurable effects, quite strong.
To slow time down, say relative to us on Earth. You approach light speed. Achieve a wide rotation then return. We would be dead and gone indeed. You would get that kind of energy maybe from the sun. It could be done. Harnessing superpower is comic book fiction. True relative to none.
Science fiction became fact. Notable ego or imagination are boundless. Nuclear power, a fission reaction as we speak, possibilities countless. Spacecraft aren't simple. Outer space interstellar medium isn't water. Propellers don't work in vacuum. Our science has to become broader.
The best we can do is better understand wave properties of a vacuum. It doesn't exist. Particles emerge then disappear eerily from this room. Planck physics postulates particles to arise and disappear in space. Close to true nothingness now, are singularities collapsing in place.
The void then is a medium, any mass forced into it pushes up against. Friction is null, the push to accelerate becomes exponentially sensed. There's a point at which nothing can be measured and doesn't exist. That's a proven constant in our universe. It doesn't remain or consist.
Disassembled, coded and sent at the speed of light then, Information. Ideas at best seem tangible. Dots and dashes are sent an organization. Reassembling matter from the information seems far-fetched, I admit. Science fiction thus far, maybe not. That is the hypothesis. Data get.
Gather it up and perform an experiment. One line of atoms at a time. Carbon dioxide would be good. Start our sheet with one atomic line. Propose to assemble a basic molecule. In the same order it's stowed. Oxygen and carbon, bring it all in. Billion-dollar idea to whom it's sowed.
Water'd be nice. Make it appear on Mars with some device I've carried. Atoms are on Mars. And others on Earth, in the hands of a girl I married. Now if the two worked, we have created some atmosphere on the rock. Would need it, you see. The breath and oxygen holding our atomic clock.
Particle entanglement could be an answer to instantaneous Morse code. Bar-coded information, for example, to digitally describe the air mode. Sent to Mars. We'll need it there along with something to eat and wear. Chemical compounds, basically surround our solar system out there.
Assembly of matter an atom at a time is too far gone and headstrong. Rearranging them under electron microscopes. It has gone on and on. Constructing electrically conducting lines, an atom thick, is underway. Fantastic games for us to play. Nanolayers on some computer chips say.
My goodness, man's made an apple. It's a computer and not good to eat. Food may be grown from the seeds. Underground ultraviolet light, neat. Something biological, keep tinkering as a soldier and it'll get to us. Deoxyribonucleic acid, that's a long barcode. It could be done thus.
Put together coded strands of atoms describing life. Who's up there? Sit on Mars 100 million miles away, not a laboratory chair. 8 minutes for light isn't peak for signals. What is instinct for data? Wire some fast food. Get ready for a feast. In a minute I might pay you.
We're still waiting for McDonald's on Mars. Could you plant some grub? Won't grow the surface without an atmosphere. An underground club? We'd need large generators for electricity that'd run mining machinery. Some nice scenery, but the surface of that fourth rock's got no greenery.
It is a long way to the stars, so where a man could go is a moon or Mars. Saturn's a long way, not compared to Proxima Centauri. There's no bars. There would have to be incentive. Space is a lonely, dangerous place. Would become desperate to be stranded there. What's the big race?
Where's the gold? Amazingly, it's out there in nebulas from supernovas. Diamond the size of a small planet too. Non-reachable a problem poses. Energy to retrieve any of it is not worth the dust you would collect. Seriously, I doubt there is any propulsion system we could perfect.
Our asteroid belt couldn't guess. Need an image or sensing device. Could be things worth mining there. If there are men, we'll pay a price. Wedding rings the size of a walnut? Blue diamond about 40 carat? For $300 million I'll go. There alone to Earth, darn it.
3 billion years, 200 kilometers deep at thousands degrees. Conditions to form crystallized carbon atoms, then a diamond one sees. They form here on Earth or from planetesimals, it's speculated in space. Many small planets formed the early solar system. It could be a case.
Bring samples and we'd be on it in a flash. Holy crud, is that cash? Asteroids amid Mars and Jupiter are a long way off. Is that a flash? Dust isn't worth much. If it is gold, platinum or lithium, where'd it cling? Who'd leave Earth? For knowledge no, but a woman yes. Bring a ring.
Observe, ask questions, research, formulate a hypothesis and test it. Correlation isn't causation. Avoid selective windowing, mistake admit. Draw conclusions, share results. Any scientific theory is falsifiable. Scientific model says again. Agreeing experiments prove it reliable.
It is postulated that the photon is massless and does not interact. Creation of a universe, as it cooled, the Higgs field became fact. Everything, having mass, acquired it in this field, at that point, to start. Disagreement: protons and neutrons have mass, photons energy part.
Observation, mine, that photons do have a very minuscule mass energy. Spontaneously, speed of light into being with the electrons, cleverly. Proclaiming they don't interact with that force-carrying particle, how? Hypothesize they do. Mass and energy are interchangeable right now.
Thought experiment: why that duality of wave and particle and electrons? Do photons react the same way in a double-slit experiment? Spot on. Neither has mass, only energy I can't agree with or is not measurable. Energy into mass is a matter of fusion. Photon energy is sustainable.
Electrons are kept in energy levels by photonic impulse about the nucleus. If energy is released, what is stopping it? I find it dubious. Saying the photon does not bump up against it implies it is not instant. Enough photonic or electronic energy causes wave property. I'm insistent.
Conclusion: massless particles interact with a Higgs field and boson. Prove it feasibly. I can't. Someone else picked up my sword, son. That's the experiment and conclusion, though it's only logic to me then. Conveying the results are in this writing as I'm inputting it to you men.
A field membrane is another concept that is interdimensional. Our universe is a field of one and there are many, that is impressionable. String theory, vibrating circles posing existence at different levels. Rock and granite, that's easier to deal with. Geology, some base metals.
Back to sauropsids and synapsids past? And when did sexes begin? Multicellular organisms began to develop properties of evolution then. Liquid water for 1 billion years. It took a long chain of cellular advances. Changing environment, adaptation, chance for complex life enhances.
Single-cellular life, parthenogenetic self-replication still has codes. Ribonucleic acid transfer of information is necessary to all of those. Biological compounds form nucleosides. Ability to form nucleobases. Adenine, cytosine, guanine, thymine, uracil form base pairs and cases.
Amino acids hydrogen bonding is what form the pairs, with electrons. Covalence goes, they share shells. You could say orbit, share or dons. 1 or 2 electrons couple the 2 bases, pyrimidines and purines. Complex molecules, constituents of life's coded information cushions.
Cytosine to guanine and thymine to adenine, uracil replaces thymine. Deoxyribonucleic acid versus ribonucleic acid are the cells we define. Work forming to build a cell and code needed to reproduce another one. Chromosomes in fantastic groups of coiled strands by which it's done.
6-meter strand composed of molecules, it's a lot of information sent. Amazing as uploading and converting 100 megabit file content. 2 meters or so, to disseminate the data, uncoiled and stretched out. Downloading's about the same. Ones and 0, dash, dot, that is about.
Standing with a scalpel in your hand, it's easy to understand. Patience. Working on a ham sandwich. Close as I come to them, my impatience became a lost cause. Pig died, cut its throat and had to close my eyes. Give up working and wait for some medicine. The end, accept goodbyes.